Hey guys, what is up? Ricky Rigolato here with Route, Rosalato, all the R's, the whole R family. So let's talk about bidding. Let's talk about what goes into a bid. These are just some numbers that I come across and we use for our company because it's good to set metrics. And you'll see why I want to show you like this, and then I'm going to show it to you as a digital format inside of Route because then you'll see why I built Route, right? Why I felt the everyday small business owner, especially in cleaning, needs solutions like this, needs technology to help you grow. So let's hit it. This is great to have, right? But again, you're going to see why we wanted to digitize this because it's all up here. It has been up here forever. But that doesn't help you. Like if you want to train somebody and showing them, this is still pen and paper. Taking pen and paper, putting it into something that other people can use and you can sell together, sell better, sell faster is really my motto, man. I mean, I think it just helps you build a business and build knowledge throughout your team if everybody really knows the basics of this. So, basics, indirect and direct, right? When I say indirect, we're talking about labor costs that involve workman's comp, general liability, um, umbrella insurance. Then you've got your health insurance for the employees, and then you've got payroll expenses on how you're paying those employees. Now, a lot of this it depends on the size of business that you are. If you're, when you're starting off like I was when it was, four or five of us, I was doing, paper checks. I had started, I paid some people cash, right? It was just me and a few other people. So I didn't have a payroll company, right? I didn't pay health insurance. I didn't have workman's comp in the beginning, but I quickly knew I was going to have to set myself up to account for those and bid with those because when you don't bid with that and you do start to grow, you're stuck in a year contract. You're stuck in a 2-year contract. How are you going to go back and say, oh, hey, I hired somebody, by the way, I have a new payroll expense, or I just hired paychecks for a payroll company, and I just started paying health insurance for that person. Like, if you don't start accounting for it now, you're going to get stuck paying for it at some point, and it's going to cost you. Your accounts are going to cost you if you don't do it right. So again, indirect, direct being the labor. What are you paying your employee? What are you paying? What's the hourly rate that you're paying them? And then what that does is combined comes out to your total labor cost. So for example, for us, these are just numbers again we use for our company. Is $2 an hour is what we tack on to. In this example, let's say we're paying our employee $15 an hour, right? So with workman's comp, general liability, umbrella, they determine the rate of, on every $100 of payroll. But what we've done is dig deeper and granular to know that it's about $2 an hour. Actually, take that back. It's like $1.70 an hour, right? Always improving. I'm going back. I'm going to talk to them, see if I can lower that again. But health insurance, it's about $1.50 an hour is what we have to calculate and account for. And then payroll expenses, it's about $1.10 an hour. So what that means is combine that with that, I know that my average cost is between 18 to 19.60 an hour, right? So that's before I even start creating a proposal and a charge rate that I'm going to charge the client. It's costing me about 18 to 19.60 an hour. Again, very different for everybody. Could change back and forth, up, down. But the items don't change. These are things that are pretty fixed and you should be accounting for. So total labor costs. Now you got to add supplies and equipment, right? Good rule of thumb I've learned from others. I'm always getting coached up and mentored by people too. Is 3 to 5% of your bid is a good number. I know in the beginning, you guys probably do the same thing. I tack on $50. This place is big. I'm gonna do 100 here. This place is massive. I'm gonna add $200 a month here. Let's start getting granular to knowing what that covers, and we'll get into that later when I show you guys the platform itself. Overhead, again, determines on the size of your business. If you're a small 5 to 10 employee company, you've got less overhead than I do at 3 to 400 employees, right? So that could be 5%, could be 10, could be 20. Again, account for it though. This is the end goal of all this conversation. Profit margin. Where do you want to be as a business, right? Some people may be okay with a 5% profit margin. Some people may be good with 20 to 25%. You got to remember is there's your gross profit margin, then there's the net. The net is the most important piece. If you're if you're worried about the gross, but you don't know your net, you don't really know what you're taking home as a business, okay? So, pen and paper approach, right? Up here approach. Now let's get to sharing my screen because I want to show you guys that all that good stuff behind this right here inside of Route. I'm gonna go to estimates. What I'm gonna do is move myself over here. I'm gonna create an estimate from scratch. So real quick too is, again, the gains and the benefits of starting with the walkthrough is I could have chosen a walkthrough, gone into the estimate, and the data from the walkthrough were carried over into the estimate. But we're not gonna do that right now. We're gonna go to create a new client. Start from scratch, guys. Let's do Rosa Enterprise. Addressed 365, which, again, doesn't matter what address is here, but the cool thing is we're linked to Google, so any address pops up. Location type, in this scenario, let's do a healthcare facility. Contact name, Joe Bob, contact phone number, you put a number in, you put an email in. Why? Because it starts to build client account information for you within the platform. Logo, I always go to Google, guys, and I'll grab a logo and I'll go back into here and you'll see that if I go into my pictures, I can just grab the picture. Why am I doing this? This is for the next step down the road when we show you guys the proposal. We want to customize this proposal, guys. So in this case, let's just use Badger Liquors. I'd open it up, pop in there, crop that baby. Again, adding a personal touch to it, you guys. It uploads, boom, there it is. I am finished. The location is selected. You go next. What are the services you're doing? In this case, let's just say janitorial cleaning. Go next, but you could do others as well. So when you do the others and it's carpet cleaning and janitorial, you would add a service here, guys, right? But we're not going to do that today, but you could do it if you wanted a proposal and an estimate just for DCT strip and wax, and you wanted an estimate just for janitorial cleaning. But again, to get back to what I was talking about back in the whiteboard, is if you know your cost and then you're starting to figure out your your profit margin and your overhead cost, you start to figure out what your average charge method or charge rate is going to be. So I really like the hourly rate approach. Production rate is also a big thing in our industry, but you really got to know your production rate for that location type. Because, like, perfect example, we just bit it in the butt with a school that we had that we didn't account for so much detail. So our average, right, is 2,500 square feet an hour. This one is ending up to being about 1,850 square feet an hour. So if I would have gone that route, no pun intended, it would have hurt our overall profitability for the account. So hourly rate, repeating job. That is, if it's a 5-day a week, 3-day a week account, you're able to put that in. So let's just say this is 5 days a week. Man hours per shift, we're going to count it by hours. Cool thing too, you guys, I mean, this is still getting worked on, but you'll be able to calculate if you wanted to do production rate, you know that your production rate is here, right? Let's say it's, like I said, 3,000 square feet an hour, or the total square feet is 3,000 square feet an hour. Your production rate is, let's say it's 1,500 an hour. You start to see the estimated man hours, right? And you can apply it to the estimate. But we won't do that right now. We're going to say we know it's 6 man hours because the client told us they want us for 6 hours. We know that we're paying 15 an hour. Us as a business, this is where you guys determine, what city you're in, region. You're paying 12 an hour, 13, 15. This is where you put your pay rate to the employee. Now let's talk about the stuff that I was talking about on the board, guys. Here's where you put in your other additional labor costs to then, again, in the back end, what Route is doing is calculating that total cost, and you'll see where that pops in. So workman's comp, general liability, umbrella, all that added up, let's say it comes out to $4 an hour on top of my 15, okay? Well, actually, let's just say, to be precise, that's 2. Let's say, and again, guys, this is all internal, so nobody's seeing this but you guys. $1.50. Let's say payroll expenses. $1.10, right? my cost. Now you could also pass on the cost of your supplies, right? Sometimes you're able to, sometimes you're not. In this case, let's say we know that our chemicals and rags are going to be, I always put one quantity, just, depends on how many you're getting. If you want to be a little bit more granular, you can do that. I just sum it up. So I know that my chemicals and rags for a place that we're cleaning 5 days a week, it's going to cost me about $50. You want to hit, this is an important one here, is you want to hit that this is every month. I say that because you're not going to charge your client every day for your supplies. You're going to do it at the monthly end billing. Another cool thing we added is if you wanted to pass on the cost of your supply, your starter kit, I call it the starter kit because it's, your janitor cart, your vacuum, your mop bucket, everything that you have that incorporates to start the account the right way. Let's say it's $250, and I always just call it starter kit. You account for it, and it's a one-time cost are billable. You could pass it to the client, or you can charge it one time up front when you start the account. And what I always say when I add that line item, guys, too, it's either you do it or you don't. But I'll say, this equipment is purchased and paid for by them. So then therefore, if they cancel services with you, that, mop bucket, broom, stick, dustpan stays there with the account. It's theirs. They should have it anyways. Every client should have their own equipment and supplies. Now we get to the best part is, remember, all this comes from now to create some charts here on the side that you're going to be able to view is by determining that it's 19 an hour, that is my cost. And then figuring out that I have my overhead and my profit margin. I know, because this is our metrics as a company, is I like to be around 27 an hour to 28, right? You saw charts pop up here, guys. This is supposed to help you understand what your base rate was. So this is what you're charging the client right here. As you see, I did not pass any of the costs for supplies, but I still accounted for them. So I know, right? So this is what you're charging the client is $3,500. Your costs right here, you can see the labor costs, $1948.50, your workman's comps, $259, health insurance is $195, payroll expenses, all this adds up to $25.96. And I did add the one-time costs. So they're going to pay for that. It's going to come out of that first month's billing bill. And then here you'll see overall, my profit is about $911, and I'm at about that 25% mark that I want to be as a business. Now, the cool thing is you can play with it, right? If you say, hey, I got to be competitive, I got to go in at 25 an hour, 20% profit is good for me. You can play with it. It's right there. Some other cool things, guys, is like this cost. Hit the info button. It's really breaking down what each line item really means to you as a business owner, right? Your profits, what it means to have overall net profit margins, the calculations behind it. So I'll cut it short there, guys, because it's a lot already that you guys are taking in. But again, this is our Route Robust estimator that is already being improved, and a 2.0 version will be coming out 2021. But this is just an in-depth look at how it is to come up with a bid and estimate digitally, because then everybody on your team can view this estimate. Everybody on your team can see and understand if you missed something or how it is that you came to a price, right? Because everybody on your team should be on the same page. So last but not least, you save it, and then you go ahead and could turn this puppy into the proposal, right? And I'll end it there because boom, takes you into the proposal template, right? All those charges get brought into here. But that's for the next time. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to stop sharing right now, come back to here to say, I hope that's something that you guys are looking for. I know I speak fast. I got a raspy ass voice. I apologize for that, but I just wanted to give you guys a little something because I know that a lot of this stuff is questions that we're asking in the group. So what I want to do is get you guys used to, posting a question, but let's start to figure out the actual things that you need for us to help you with a bid and a quote, right? Like, for example, we need, how many days a week it's going to be, property type, the density of the location, what type of facility it is. These are things that are going to help calculate a more accurate bid for you. So again, sorry for talking so much. There's so much to talk about. I'm so excited to be a part of this, guys, and sharing all this knowledge and empowering our industry to really take that bottom line, raise the bar, and help us across the industry to really stand out as a professional service provider style of business. Okay, so till next time, thanks, guys. Drop some comments. Let me know if there's anything else you guys need in addition to what we're talking about. But let's definitely stay focused on quotes, bidding, estimating, walkthroughs, and proposals.